Welcome to my studio. This is where all the magic happens. It's not glamorous, it's just a small room in the house, but this is where everything takes place. So I wanted to introduce you to me, whether you know a little bit about me or not. My background is I am British born, but moved to South Africa as a teenager and was always very arty as a child growing up. I took art at school, didn't particularly enjoy it at school. I didn't really pursue art, but went more into the horses, which is where a lot of my inspiration comes from. And then in my early 20s I took up the paintbrush again, and this is where you find me now, living back in the UK. I've been back here for 3 years now. I do miss a lot of South Africa and particularly the wildlife, which is where a lot of my inspiration comes from as well. So that really leads me into what drives me to paint. So I have a number of different subjects that generally I'm drawn to paint. I love birds. I have no reason particularly, there's just something in me that I've always been attracted to. Perhaps it's the freedom of flight, but I love birds. Horses obviously comes from my background in horses, and the African wildlife, having spent a lot of time in the bush and seeing incredible wild animals. I often have a feeling in my heart that goes back to South Africa that says I need to paint giraffe, lion, whatever, leopard. So I want to tell you a little bit about the various media that I use. As you can see, I've painted in oils. I quite enjoy the feeling that oils give you as far as texture goes, particularly in animals with the hair. I had a go at painting using a palette knife. This was early on in my experimentation with oils. I haven't done another one because it was harder than I thought as I was actually doing it, but I was happy with the result. I also like to use the Pabeo pouring paints, which are not necessarily designed for painting pictures with. I think that, well, obviously that's why they call them pouring paints, but they give you the most beautiful effect where the colours sort of blend with one another and create these cells and patterns. So those are something I enjoy painting with. Otherwise I paint with watercolours, and I do chalk pastels. The paper that I like to use, this glorious dark, it's watercolour paper, and then I use white chalk pastels on it. Love the effect of that. I've been doing a lot of that over lockdown, and the brands that I tend to stick to, you know, it's like anything, the better the quality, the better your result. I love Dale Rowney is my go-to brand. I use their paintbrushes and the paper that I use as well. So I tend to use the heavier paper gives you a really nice feel. So I work with upwards of 300 grams per square meter, and you won't get this on a video I don't think, but you feel the quality of the paper. It's heavy, which means when I flood the paper with water doing watercolors, as you see this piece that I'm working on at the moment, so I'll tape it down with masking tape, and then when you flood the paper with water, the paper tends to keep its integrity and instead of going all crinkly. So that's a little bit about what I do. I've worked with chalk pastels a lot in the past as well, with the chalk pastel pencils, and what I've also been doing recently is painting a lot of these stones that we put out into the ranges near where I live, which is just for a little bit of fun. If if you find one of these anywhere, I'd love for you to let me know you found it. Take a picture of the stone you found and tag me and let me know. And otherwise, I just want to say thank you for coming to visit me in my studio. Please follow me on Instagram, artfinder.com, and Facebook. I like my art to be affordable, so I am always open for commissions. Everything you see is for sale, and prices can all be negotiated. So please contact me, and thank you again for your time.